What's up, YouTube? I'm on JamPlay getting ready to do a course review. We're going to look at the Cybernetic Shred course by Stephanie Bradley, and this is a fairly new course on JamPlay. It hasn't been around for really long, and Stephanie Bradley is sort of a metal, modern leading speed player. So myself, being someone who's not super good at playing fast, that's never been my thing. I've always been more of a rhythm player. This course really caught my attention, and I checked it out a couple times. I've been through it, some with my guitar and some just kind of browsing around, seeing what is covered and what type of material you can go through. And basically what I found is that this course is, since this is a review, I'm going to review the course, so I want to give sort of my 2 cents and just my opinion of how helpful it is and how applicable it is to the type of person that it is marketed to. And you'll notice, don't fuss or doubt that I've been through this because of the 0% progress. This is a different account than what I use. There's an affiliate account that they gave me to explore some of this stuff, and this is actually my own personal account I set up. So that's why none of this has any progress on it. I have looked at pretty much all of it. But basically, this is the lesson, sort of, I don't know, I guess you could call it the syllabus, or just the kind of the breakdown of what material is covered in each section. And what I noticed going through this is that really up until halfway, maybe a third of the way through, there's a total of 31 lessons, but I'd say maybe up to lesson 9 or 10, the material that Stephanie covers is really like super elementary, and then it gets kind of kicked up into a far more sort of difficult arena. And you can almost break the 2 courses down between the super easy stuff and the super difficult stuff. So for example, like stretching and resting, and this is weirdly centered around the idea of not injuring your hand, which, you know, as someone who has played for a long time, and I think someone who would be interested in a course like that's titled something like Cybernetic Shred, which is obviously an advanced concept, it's a little bit weird that we're talking about not injuring our hands. I don't really think that would be an issue that someone who would benefit from her course would need to go through, so you kind of lose some value there. It's not that she does a bad job of explaining it. She does have some good pointers for, you know, just kind of the just kind of easing your hand into getting more speed into your fingers, and that can be, you know, there can be some muscular tension there, and it can mess with your flexor tendons, and it can, if you have arthritis, that can be a problem as well. But it seemed a little bit too basic. But you know what you'll have here is, if you're not familiar with JamPlay as a structure, I will link to my JamPlay review. I've done a video review and a written review. I'll link to that in the video description. You can check that out. But the format, I'll go over here real quick, is you have the video player in the middle. You have kind of your course, I don't know what you call it, kind of all of your course chapters over here on the left side of the screen, and then you have your scene selection, which is each individual video in the particular lesson that you're in. So it's sort of broken up that way. And in this particular lesson, you only have one scene, but then if you go back, we'll look at, let's go to lesson 4, tapping your foot. I think there's going to be, nope, there's still just one video, and it's just under 3 minutes long. So I'm playing some of this, and you won't be able to hear any of it because I have a microphone in. Plus, I don't want to give away. This is paid content. I don't want to give away too much of what is being discussed here, but I just kind of want to give you an idea of what Stephanie covers and whether or not it would be because this course can be bought as a standalone course. Is you don't you can have a membership and have access to it, of course, but you can also just buy the course and own it, which personally I think is a better that's a preferable arrangement to me. Like if I buy a piece of software or um, or some kind of a product or even some kind of a service, like I want to pay for it and then own it and not have to worry about the monthly fee. That's not, I know that's not ideal for everybody. So this is a course that you can actually just buy as a standalone one-time purchase. So to that end, I don't want to give away too much of the content, so you're not going to be able to hear it, but you will be able to get a feel for um, how the course sort of moves. And then again, like we're in tapping your foot, how to warm up. Again, I don't, if you're looking at shredding the way that she is teaching you to shred, I don't
Hi,
think
this is Stephanie
there should
Bradley
be
with
any
JamPlay.com.
question
In this
about how to
lesson, I'm going to
warm
show you
up.
how to
and
warm up
and she does say
efficiently.
at the beginning of
I
this
really want to emphasize not only
course in the
warming up, but
introduction
warming up
that she wanted
efficiently.
to make it
Just like we talked
accessible
about
to
stretching and how we need to take care of our
kind
bodies,
of
we also
every
need to
skill
warm
level,
up.
and I think this was sort
So
of
you
her
don't just
effort to
want to
do
jump into
that.
playing all your fast licks. You want to kind of
But
work up the
again, what I would have to do if I were to take this is I would have to sort of just throw out the first third of the
For
course
this practice scene, we're going to start at the first
before getting into
biopragmatic
stuff that is really applicable to me. So let's keep moving though. Once you get into lesson, kind of around lesson 9, accenting notes. So this is a longer lesson. It's about 7 minutes,
Hi, this is Stephanie Bradley
and
with JamPlay.com.
I think she's
So we're
finally
going to
going
do
to
the same
start
thing
getting, yeah, so here you go.
and
You
then
start
come
getting
back.
into some examples and some
So
playing, which
I'll just walk you through it
following
really quick.
following
We
her
did
along
five,
is super helpful
seven,
because I mean
eight
she
on
is a
the
really
sixth string.
fast player. She's
Then we
a
went
great
down to the
lead
fifth string
guitarist,
and did five,
so
seven, eight,
you're gonna
seven,
get to see
five, and then I
just
went back to
some
the sixth
really
string and I played eight,
kind of
seven.
interesting
The only thing that's
and
different is we've done a lick
melodic
similar to these where there's a bunch of
lead
variations on
patterns
things.
that as you can see
But what
here,
we're going to
she
do is we're
can
going to
play
move it
really
up.
fast,
And the
and
same thing,
they can
you
really
can
help to
take this lick
build
and play in any
some
key.
of
So
that
you're not stuck to
melodic
this key.
speed
I
that
just picked
that
this one.
is so elusive. She does a great job of explaining it.
It's physically
So
harder.
once you get into maybe lesson 9 and up, you're going to start to see a
So
lot of
first
stuff
we'll do
like
the
that.
same
And then of
thing.
course, if you
Quarters,
click down
eighths,
here in
and
the
then
supplemental
sixteenths. Let's go
section,
ahead and start a quarter by
JamPlay is
quarter. Here
really
we go.
strong in
One,
terms of
two,
offering
three,
uh, kind of supplemental files. Like you have even a Guitar Pro file here that you can download if you have the Guitar Pro software. The PDF, I think, um, the jam points. I don't know what that is. Haven't seen that before. You have just kind of a really nicely done guitar tab, and all of this stuff is accessible right from within the video. So I'm going to go back out here and we'll look at a few more things. Like I said, don't want to give away a ton of content, but we want to get an idea of what kind of stuff this course covers. Finger independence, I remember was a really good lesson. There's a couple chapters in here. So usually what she does is, and I think this is most
Hi, this is Stephanie
JamPlay
Bradley with
courses. So
JamPlay.com.
you might have two scenes over here on the right side. In the first one, she'll kind of be explaining it.
But make it a little bit
Like I
harder.
don't know that.
Okay. So if you
Uh,
just practice
I
one,
don't know there
two,
are going to
three,
be any
four,
examples
you
in this
can
one.
to
Let's
make sure.
see.
But I'm
I
gonna
can always
go
tell when they have the multiple. Yeah, okay,
but
so
different. So
she's going to do
instead
an
of one,
example
two,
here.
three, four, we're gonna now be doing our middle
I'm just going to
ring,
get you
pointer,
started on the
pinky.
idea of finger
We're gonna walk
independence,
through
just
that
explaining to
together
you
to the
what she's
fifth
going to
fret and
teach
back
you.
if you want on
And
your own
then
keyboard.
in the second scene,
So we're gonna
usually
start
you're
this
going to get into
exercise
more
100 beats per
application.
minute. And we're
Um, yeah, so multiple screens come up quicker and you get into your application quicker, and she's going to start to take you through some of those riffs and some of those patterns. Um, like I said, this is probably the part in the course where it starts to get a little bit more advanced, gets a little bit more intense, and there's just kind of this huge jump between like lesson 6 and 7 to two hand muting, accenting notes, muscle memory, syncing your hands, and finger depends. I mean, it's just the jump in difficulty is really kind of remarkable. Practicing slow to play fast. Uh, this is a pretty big section of this course, so she's got
all right,
almost a
so let's start
7 minute
80 beats per minute on eighth notes,
rundown
and we're gonna leave
of
some space in between.
kind of
So we're
how
gonna
to
start at the
slow
beginning of the
down
measure,
and then
play our lick,
use
leave
what
the
you
remaining
learned
beats
playing
open,
slower to
and then
speed
start
up. And
back.
her examples are really
One,
good, really
two,
interesting.
three,
I'll just go through a little bit of this. Like I said, you won't be able to hear it, but you'll be able to just kind of see what type of exercises she goes through, and you might be able to hear it faintly in the background, but that's sort of the format that she's going to follow. You know, you're going to get a concept explained, and then you're going to get a handful of examples of that concept the way she would play it, and then a lot of what she gets into in the later lessons is picking excuse me, sort of different picking methods, tremolo and alternate picking, both really important concepts if you are going to play with a lot of speed, economy and sweep picking. And all of this is, you know, it's not so much that you're not necessarily just paying for a lesson on economy picking, right? But you're paying to hear it taught the way Stephanie Bradley understands it and the way she has learned
Hi,
it,
this is Stephanie Bradley with
to play the style that
JamPlay.com.
she
And in this
plays. So
lesson,
I think
plan on economy
if
picking
you're
and
really
get this
into
to be
that
as efficient as
fast lead
possible.
style,
So it might feel a little weird at
then
first since you're
learning
probably
this
used to doing
concept
alternate
from
picking,
her is going to
but
mean
one
more
thing
to
you do
you
want to
than it
do is
would
practice
learning
actually
it
stopping in
from,
the
you
space
know,
between
just
the strings. So getting used
whatever
to that
guitar
motion
blog or
because
some other
instead of
website or
picking
some
down
other
up, again,
teacher
it's a push.
who
So it's going to
doesn't
feel
play
weird. It
this
sounds like
style.
it should feel.
I think if you
For this
identify
exercise, let's
with
go ahead.
the style that she plays, then that's where this course is going to have a little bit more value to you, where you're going to be happier with spending money because you're going to learn these concepts in the context of this particular style. So, you know, one thing that I think is good to do before you buy a course from a specific artist like this, even if it's a lesser known artist, like Stephanie Bradley's not super famous, but I think it can be helpful just to look at some of the stuff they put out there. Like she's got a bunch of YouTube stuff. Like she has a really active Twitter account, and even Instagram. There are a lot of you know, there's a lot of material on there, a lot of videos of her playing, and you can kind of get a feel for her style. And if that's the style that really speaks to you, then learning intervals and octaves and sweep picking and economy picking, despite being able to learn those in other places too, you can learn them kind of in a style that you've already identified with. So I think that's really important. You know, you've got to kind of make a connection with the artist before you purchase their course. And I think if you do that,
Hi, this is Stephanie
then
Bradley with
this is a
JamPlay.com.
great
And
option. I mean,
to get used to that, I like to
she
actually
gets
support
more
my finger
comfortable with
with the other
I
two
think
fingers
being in front
behind
of the
it,
camera as the course goes along. It
just to
seems
add
like
a
she
lot of
gets
extra
better at
control for me.
uh,
It depends on what you
um,
want to do. Some
just
people like
kind
to
of
have it from
talking through
above,
things and kind of being
some
comfortable
people like to have
as
it under.
in a
Mine just kind
teaching
of
role.
depends on the leg. So I would,
And
again,
then of
kind of
course
go
this
back to
is one of
thumb
the later
placement.
courses where she's
Notice
talking a
that
little bit
while
more
you're trying
about
to apply
technique,
vibrato.
getting into a little
And I
bit
really
more
want
of
you to go to other legs and really apply vibrato and see the difference
you
that
know,
it does make. So
the
there's
idea of
also the element of
flavoring up
pitch
your
harmonic, and
solos
this
with
is a really
vibrato and
weird thing to tell people to
things like
practice
that.
because
So
how I was told
the
was to choke up.
but again, I'm not going to go over any of the other videos just because that's the format, and I think by and large, like I said, if it's a course that you I wouldn't recommend it for beginners. Like I said, that she does make an effort to sort of appeal to all skill levels, and she does say that in the introduction that she wants it to be accessible to all skill levels. But I think that I think she should have gone one direction or the other, right? So like you basically lose these first 7 lessons if you're really advanced. And if you're not really advanced, or if you're not at least an intermediate player, the first 7 lessons are not enough to get you ready, at least I don't think, for the type of stuff you're going into in some of these later lessons. I could be wrong. If you think I'm wrong, you can drop a comment in the comment section below and let me hear about it. But I think that's the only place this course kind of misses it. It is, but if I were to grade, you know, the lesson 8 and above, you know, I would give it a solid A. I think 7 and below, I'd give it a B minus. So there's just a little bit of a disjoint there, but overall a great course. And if you want to check it out, there is a link in the description to a JamPlay free trial. You can go through and check it out, or you can go through and buy the course. Either way, it helps support Guitar Chalk, helps keep our magazine and this channel going. So check it out and give the video a thumbs up, subscribe, and hopefully we will talk to you soon.